Have you ever stayed up late, rewriting an email again and again, or avoided starting something altogether because you were terrified it wouldn't turn out perfect? If so, you've touched the darker side of perfectionism. And that's exactly what this video is about: how high standards, while seemingly noble, can quietly damage your mental health, relationships, and even your success. By the end of this journey, you'll understand not only why perfectionism takes such a heavy toll, but also how to break free, without losing your ambition or your drive. Perfectionism often disguises itself as a strength. People might say, "I'm just detail-oriented," or "I hold myself to high standards," but psychology research tells a different story. According to Dr. Paul Hewitt and Dr. Gordon Flett, who pioneered studies on perfectionism, there are actually three types of perfectionism: self-oriented perfectionism, placing impossible demands on yourself; other-oriented perfectionism, expecting perfection from people around you; socially prescribed perfectionism, the crushing belief that others expect you to be flawless. At first glance, these look like pathways to excellence. But over time, they trap us in cycles of procrastination, anxiety, and even depression. Here's the paradox. Perfectionism isn't about doing things perfectly, it's about never feeling good enough, no matter what you achieve. Let me tell you about Sarah. Sarah was a brilliant university student, talented, disciplined, admired. But she had one belief: if I'm not perfect, I'm worthless. When she got a 95% on an exam, instead of celebrating, she obsessed over the 5% she missed. She rewrote essays 10 times before submitting them, often at the cost of sleep. And when she did succeed, the relief was temporary, quickly replaced by fear of failing next time. Psychologists call this the perfectionism performance trap. The more Sarah achieved, the higher her standards climbed. And the more she chased flawless results, the more exhausted and empty she became. Sarah's story mirrors what countless studies reveal: perfectionism isn't linked to higher achievement, it's linked to burnout, eating disorders, anxiety, and chronic self-criticism. So why does perfectionism hurt us so deeply? The all-or-nothing mindset. Perfectionists often think in black and white. If it's not perfect, it's a failure. Psychologists call this cognitive distortion. Fear of failure. Instead of motivating us, perfectionism can paralyze us. We procrastinate, not out of laziness, but out of fear that our work won't measure up. Self-worth contingency. For perfectionists, self-esteem depends entirely on performance. This creates a fragile identity where mistakes feel like personal defects. Neuroscience even shows that perfectionists often have heightened activity in the brain's error detection circuits, meaning they literally feel mistakes more painfully than others. This isn't just about personality quirks. It's a neurological, emotional, and social loop that feeds itself. Let's go deeper. What happens if perfectionism is left unchecked? Mental health costs. Perfectionism is strongly correlated with depression, anxiety, and even suicidal thoughts. A 2019 meta-analysis in Psychological Bulletin found that perfectionism has risen significantly in recent decades, especially among young people. Relationship strain. Demanding perfection from others can make you seem critical or unkind, even when your intention is love or care. Creativity killer. Ironically, the quest for perfect results stifles risk-taking and innovation. Many perfectionists never share their work at all, waiting endlessly until it's ready. Burnout and physical health. Chronic stress from perfectionism increases cortisol, disrupts sleep, and weakens the immune system. It's like sailing with your sails pulled too tight. You might move forward fast for a while, but eventually the strain tears the fabric. Now, here's the part you've been waiting for: how to break free from destructive perfectionism without losing your ambition. Shift from outcome to process instead of asking, "Was this flawless?" Ask, "What did I learn in this process?" Growth-oriented goals are healthier than performance-oriented ones. Practice self-compassion. Dr. Kristen Neff's research shows that self-compassion isn't about letting yourself off the hook, it's about treating yourself with the same kindness you'd offer a friend. Reframe failure instead of, "I failed," try, "I experimented." Failure is not a verdict, it's data. Set good enough standards. Perfectionists hate this idea. But research shows that satisfices those who accept good enough tend to be happier and often more successful long term. Expose yourself to imperfection. Try leaving a typo in a casual message, or deliberately posting something less polished. These micro-exposures weaken the fear response. Therapy and AMP support. Cognitive behavioral therapy is highly effective in treating perfectionism by challenging distorted thought patterns. So here's the truth. Perfectionism may look like a guiding star, but in reality, it's more like a lighthouse beam, harsh, blinding, and impossible to reach. You don't need to dim your light, but you do need to steer by a different compass: progress, not perfection. What you're about to learn and practice can change the way you see yourself forever. Because when you let go of perfection, you don't lose your standards, you gain your freedom. Remember, you are not valuable because you're flawless. You're valuable because you're human, flaws and all.